This is Johanna Thomas talking memory loss, Alzheimer's and dementia, the prevention and beneficial supplementation with Christine Bailey in association with BodyBio. Christine is an award-winning nutritional therapist, functional nutrition practitioner, a chef, author and broadcaster. Christine, welcome to the Way Forward Show.
Thank you. It's so lovely to be with you.
It's our pleasure. Now, it's pretty much accepted that brain health and all that goes with it, memory, intelligence, and complex decision-making, declines with age. It usually starts mild, then progresses. About 10% of people aged 65 or older have mild cognitive impairment, and nearly 15% of them develop Alzheimer's each year. Alzheimer's disease is the most common cause of dementia. Dementia is not a disease in itself. It's actually the word used to describe a group of symptoms that occur when the brain cells stop working properly. This happens inside specific areas of the brain, which can affect how you think, remember, and communicate. There are currently around 850,000 people with dementia in the UK. 1 in 6 over the age of 80 have dementia. 70% of people in care homes have dementia or severe memory problems. There are over 42,000 people with under the age of 65 with dementia in the UK. Christine, this is scary, isn't it? I mean,
yes, and actually it scares a lot of people at very young ages. You know, I see clients in my clinic in their 30s, 40s because they have witnessed a family member go through the horrible emotional struggle with Alzheimer's or cognitive decline. And I put myself in that bracket because my grandma actually suffered with a mild form of Alzheimer's. And that was actually why I wrote the Brain Boost Diet book, which is a functional medicine book about how can you tackle this by really addressing the underlying imbalances. And my driver was seeing her gradually almost disappear from me. You know, and at the end of it, she didn't recognise most of the family members. And it's heartbreaking. And I think that's why, yes, you're right, it is scary. But the good thing is that we now know from the latest research that by tackling the underlying imbalances that influence the brain health, the cell function, it's not inevitable that cognitive decline will happen as you get older at all.
Exactly.
And if you look at the brain, our brain is actually the most complex organ in our body. You know, it's around about 3 pounds in weight. It's actually, funny enough, one of our heaviest organs. It demands more oxygen and glucose than any other organ. It's very nutrient dependent, and that's why diet, nutrition, lifestyle makes a big difference. But what we now know is this concept of plasticity. And this is really exciting because plasticity is our ability of our brain cells, what we call our neurons, to build pathways and build connections. And what has now been revealed is that we can improve our plasticity at any age if we have the right nutrients, the right stimulation, the right amount of oxygen and glucose and so on, then actually our brain cells can thrive at any age. So that's actually really exciting. So I want people to be, you know, positive about the fact that by making the right changes, you can have a profound effect on your brain health.
Definitely. No, I 100% agree. We don't have to just accept it, which I think a lot of people do. Well, I'm getting old, you know, it's one of those things that happen, you know, but it doesn't have to be like that, does it, you know? So so let's elaborate on this, please, Christine, and where exactly, how the BodyBio, how do they fit in precisely?
Yeah, so, you know, when it comes to, say, cognitive decline or Alzheimer's, for example, we know that they're what we call neurodegenerative disorders, i.e. there's a gradual decline in cognitive function. Now, that starts at deterioration of what we call the cell health, the cell membrane health in particular. So our brain cells, our neurons, they produce or they connect to one another, and they're producing neurotransmitters, which, like you said earlier, affect how we think and feel. And if our brain cells, and this is true of all cells in our body, if the cell membranes aren't functioning that well, and they can be very vulnerable to damage, and as we get older, we might be more prone to oxidative damage or inflammation, then the whole of that cell doesn't work that well, and actually can stop functioning. Now, that's where someone like BodyBio comes in, because BodyBio was set up by leading researchers in cell membrane health and cellular health. And health really does start at the cell level. If your cells aren't working, then don't expect everything else to work properly.
For sure.
And what they actually did was they actually founded a research foundation. And it was through all of that research that they realized there just weren't the right products to support cell health and cell function. And let's just go back to the brain. 60% of the brain is fat, and the cell membranes are made out of fat. And they're made out of particular types of fats, including phospholipids, but also omega-3 fats, some arachidonic acid. And if those fats are not optimized, or the cell membrane is damaged, then that will affect neuron health. And that's really where BodyBio come into its own. One, the quality, the research behind the product, and the fact that they start at the cellular level.
I see.
Whereas a lot of other companies don't.
Yeah, it's just a basic. So let's dive a little deeper into the specific BodyBio functional supplements that help with memory loss for our listeners and they might be interested in. Probably one of the most powerful for mental focus and brain health is the PC, which BodyBio sells as a liquid or in capsules. Tell us about this.
Yeah, so just going back to what I said about the brain cells, phospholipids are an essential part of the brain membrane, the cell membrane. And one of those is PC, or what we call phosphatidylcholine. And this comprises about 50% of your cell membrane. Now, it's not actually that easy to get optimal levels in your diet. So, choline, and phosphatidylcholine, obviously PC, has been in the press a lot recently, partly because more and more people are switching to a more vegan diet. Well, actually, if you want high levels of phosphatidylcholine, then you're looking at things like organ meat, you're looking at eggs, you're looking at oily fish. Yes, you can get some in vegan sources, but it's not that well absorbed and it's not in high amounts. Now, if your cell membranes need that amount of phosphatidylcholine, then you need to be able to optimize the amount either in your diet or supplementation. And the reason phosphatidylcholine is so important for cognitive decline, as well as cell health generally, is because it's a precursor for a neurotransmitter called acetylcholine. And acetylcholine levels decline when you have Alzheimer's or just general cognitive decline. There's been a lot of studies now on levels of acetylcholine in Alzheimer's in particular. So if you are thinking, I want to make sure my cell membranes are working, my neurons are working, and that I've got enough of the building block for acetylcholine, then you need to take PC. And one of the things about the BodyBio product is it's liposomal. It's very, very easy for the body to absorb and utilize. Many products out there, the cell membranes cannot actually utilize. So for me, that would be one of your, if you're thinking particularly about, family risk of Alzheimer's and cognitive decline, that would be one of your key supplements to start with.
I agree. And then if we look to support the gut, which is, now being called our second brain, there's a short chain fatty acid called sodium butyrate. Tell us more about that one, please, Christine.
Yeah, so we now know, like you just said, we have what's called the gut-brain axis. So our gut and our brain are intimately linked by a vagus nerve. So that's why some people, when they're very stressed, they get stomach cramps, they get, bloating, etc., etc. But also, of course, our gut itself has a range or massive diverse microbiome. And those microbiomes produce a number of short-chain fatty acids, including butyrate. But equally, butyrate is a great food for the microbiome. Yeah. And what they have shown is that, and this is true actually, for a lot of people are not getting enough fibre in their diet. We know that from the National Dietary Survey. Now, fibre is essential for feeding your microbiome and producing short-chain fatty acids. So a lot of people will often be low in butyrate, and it's, so important for digestive health, but it lowers inflammation. It actually can help people who perhaps have cravings. They have this desire to overeat, for example. Yeah. But it also supports mitochondrial function, and of course, if your cells are working well, then your brain functions better, and that increases your energy level. So that's really important for vibrant aging, effectively. So butyrate is a really useful supplement for not only all the gut problems, colitis and so on, but also nourishing the brain function as well.
Yeah, I just want to throw in here that I have been taking both the sodium butyrate and the PC for a good few months now, and my gut is 80% better than it used to be. Way less IBS symptoms, less bloating, my reactions to food are practically all gone. I feel a lot sharper, a lot more alert, and my skin, wow, huge improvement. So I'll be keeping them.
Yeah, that's interesting, because butyrate also helps ward off unwanted toxins in the gut, which often the harmful microbes produce. And of course, as you know, your skin is a major organ of detoxification. Yeah. So, when there are disruptions in the gut, it can often show up in people's skin. So that's really interesting, actually.
Yeah, and I think, a lot of people are trying to eliminate certain foods to heal this, when I think these are really good options to sort of add to your diet and put it in. So moving on to the BodyBio Balance Oil, this not only positively impacts our brain function, but also the digestive health, immune support, liver function, and cardiovascular activity. So what's exactly is inside that one?
Yeah, and again, this goes back to, I've seen so many fad diets in my time. I've been in the industry for a long time. One of the things I would say is that, there was this big sort of push for low-fat everything. Everything you have to be low-fat, low-fat, low-fat. What ended up happening is that people were actually excluding essential fatty acids that our body needs to thrive and our brain needs to thrive. And the Body Balance Oil is one of those perfect combinations. It's got what's called an ideal 4-to-1 ratio. It's got omega-6. These are both essential fatty acids. That's linolenic acid, and omega-3, which is your alpha-linolenic acid. Yeah. And they are derived from flaxseed oil, for example, sapphire oil, and so on. These are essential. If you and your brain does not have essential fat, it will not function optimally. Remember, 60% of your brain is fat. Your cell membranes are dominated by these fats. So again, by nourishing them with the right amount in the right ratio, you can again improve mitochondrial function. You can nourish your neurons. You can effectively improve energy in the whole body. And that includes immune health, includes healthy heart. Yeah. And also, I see a lot of people notice it again in their skin. Remember, your skin needs those fats as well. Yeah. And so if you are, again, on a restricted diet, that's another great one to be adding in.
I think a lot of people are afraid of oil. They're afraid of fats, and that's like what you were saying. We need to get past that. We need to get over that, because more and more, as this low-fat diet's been out, more and more Alzheimer's and dementia has been coming on. So this is a prime thing. You've got to, take it in, people, and start, just getting on board. What about the coenzyme Q10 as a supplement? How does that help with the memory loss?
I'm a great fan of CoQ10, and particularly as we age, and that's quite important, because CoQ10 is a natural antioxidant. We all produce it, actually.
Yeah.
And it's essential for, again, energy production, mitochondrial function. Really essential. However, as we get older, our ability to produce coenzyme Q10 goes down. And again, just another caveat, if you are on a statin, then you absolutely need the CoQ10 supplement because statins block the production of CoQ10. Now, specifically for cognitive decline, CoQ10 has actually been studied in research to have what we call neuroprotective benefits, i.e. it protects your brain cells. And it also helps immune cells in the brain. So they're called the microglial cells. These are the brain immune cells, and they control inflammation. The last thing you want in your brain is inflammation.
Yeah.
And what they've shown is that lower levels in your blood of CoQ10 have been associated with an increased risk of dementia as you get older.
Interesting.
So, you know,
if
anyone's listening now and actually they're struggling with overall fatigue, circulation problems, energy problems, you know, consider CoQ10 anyway.
Yeah, no, I agree.
You know, but certainly it may slow down cognitive decline, absolutely.
You know, what I find is that all these supplements, they don't just work on one part of the body, you know, everything's holistic. They have multiple benefits all over, so you just got to get involved and reap everything. So I'm a big fan of electrolytes personally. BodyBio have a unique liquid electrolyte concentrate liquid called E-Lyte. Tell us a little bit about that and how it works.
Well, funny enough, I use this a lot with clients, and the reason is I work a lot with athletes as well. And of course, electrolytes are your sodium, potassium, magnesium in particular. And, you know, a lot of us, first of all, don't get the right balance of those. You know, we're often quite sodium dominated, we don't get enough potassium or magnesium. But our electrolytes in our body are in a certain ratio. And so, of course, if you are on more processed foods or you add lots of salt, you're going to shift that out. Plus, if you exercise a lot, you sweat these out. Definitely. And so often you can be low. So electrolyte loss happens a lot. When you're stressed, you actually utilize more of these because your adrenal glands control the balance of sodium and potassium. If you exercise a lot, if you've got certain medications, if you just aren't eating, you know, a wide range of particularly beans and pulses, vegetables, leafy greens in particular, you know, magnesium levels are often low. If you suffer with cramps, low energy, but also, if you think about it, signs of dehydration affect your mood and they affect your thinking capacity. True. So if your electrolyte levels are low and you are in a more dehydrated state, then you're just not going to function optimally.
100%.
So this is a really good one because it's a clear liquid, and you basically just add a capful into your bottled water, you know, in your flask of water that you take. And that way you are rehydrating yourself very, very effectively, much more than just drinking water. Definitely. By having those additional electrolytes in.
And if we look at then the magnesium as a mineral, I mean, I find that all my clients are deficient in magnesium. We live in such a modern day, stressful, toxic environment, and it's more than 300 metabolic and enzymatic reactions needed. BodyBio do a magnesium carbonate. It's quite an unusual type. Why specifically is that one good?
Well, they actually do two. They do a magnesium chloride and a magnesium carbonate, and it's really to suit different needs. So one's in a capsule, one's a liquid. Chloride, which is the liquid one, is really good if you have sensitive stomachs, and you find that because some magnesium for some people can cause a laxative effect, which is great because a lot of people use it to help their bowels. A lot of people are very constipated.
That's often the citrate and the oxide, isn't it, that would do that one?
Yes, and also carbonate would do that as well.
Okay.
The crucial thing is, whenever you're looking at any supplement, is what is the amount of elemental magnesium in there? And what you'll find with both the carbonate carbonate and the chlorate is actually a very high amount of absorbable magnesium. And you're quite right that, a lot of people are low in magnesium. And again, increasing brain magnesium helps with cognitive function, helps with energy. And so,
sleep,
again,
everything.
if you are someone...
Sleep as well helps you switch off at night. I find that a lot with my clients.
Calming the mind, calming the body,
exactly.
calming the nervous system. And again, if you think about it, most of us are very highly stressed.
Very.
Your adrenal glands utilise a hell of a lot of magnesium to keep the balance. And if you are feeling wired but tired, magnesium is a really good supplement. So, I often like the liquid chloride, particularly if I'm treating children, because it's an easy one. You can just literally add a drop or two into some water and they can drink that one. So, we have a couple of different forms which just suits people's needs.
Yeah, perfect. Well, time is running away with us, so I think we need to get across exactly where people can purchase all these wonderful BodyBio products from, because we need to start preventing the memory loss. So what are the retail and online stockists?
Yeah, absolutely, and it's worth to say that is just a snippet of the supplements available. I mean, one of the other ones I'll just quickly mention is get yourself a good quality, and again, BodyBio stock this, the vitamin formula, because all those neurotransmitters that affect your brain health, they are essential. B vitamins are absolutely vital, so you'll see that on the site as well. It's just bodybio.co.uk.
Okay, so bodybio.co.uk. Perfect. And do you know the social media sites so that everyone can support as well? I think it's just BodyBio, isn't it?
It is just BodyBio. And what's good is, if you are unsure, if you go on the website, they have a little tab where it says Browse by Benefit.
Lovely.
And you can just scroll down. It will have a section on brain health and nervous system, and then it will flag up all the key supplements that we've just talked about.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for your time today, Christine. I much appreciate it. It's been fascinating.
Thank you.
Take care. This is Johanna Thomas, your resident holistic nutritionist for The Way Forward.